be exactly what you want to be without all of the fear around you. We have to stand up together.
Cool. Welcome to another episode of Built to Exit with me, your humble host, Jason Sisneros. Full of a lot of energy after New Year's vacation, back in town, back in the studio, ready to rock and roll. Want to shout out the live audience that we have with us on Twitter, or now known as x.com. If you go there every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., we have a live audience of business owners just like you that are looking to solve their issues, build their companies to exit, harvest some wealth, figure out their systems, their processes to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. They're just like you. They're just like me. We're just like each other. That's why we like to hang out with each other. The other thing that is the common theme that I think holds us all together is that we are a group of people who really want to add value back into the world. There's a lot of people that are running charities. Obviously, you know by now, or if this is your first time, welcome to you. I do undercover child rescues. I work in domestic violence arena, feeding people through an organization called Feed a Billion, and lots of veterans issues. So that's a common theme. Everybody that's here, everybody that has sort of been attracted to and is coalescing around the idea of Built to Exit, and doing business with each other, doing business locally, those types of things. Everybody that's come together, there's a common theme. We're all supporting something. We're all pets, veterans, whatever it is. I believe that it is inherent in an ethical capitalist, somebody that is a small, mid-sized business owner looking to build a big business, that we have this common heart throb, this common heart theme that goes through us to say, I know when I've made enough, and it continues to fuel my life and make me happier and fill me with more joy when I can take my excess and actually ease the suffering in other people. My original podcast was called The Bald Avenger Show. Right? There's some of them that are floating out there, but that was it. And the entire intent of that podcast was to help coalesce people that are easing suffering in the world. And that has continued as we have decided and have honed in on the idea that everybody building their company, if they get one originating thought, and it's this thought, I should be building my company to exit, because the knowledge, the understanding, the wisdom tells us that everybody exits, right? Everybody exits. I was having multiple conversations with my Christian brothers and sisters this week in the business arena. There's a lot of different things that I'm going to bring forward. But the idea is that we all know that on this plane, this ends. Right? This ends it. And that means that you will exit your business at some point in time. The three types of exits. Number one, just like me in the beginning, I crashed 3 businesses. That's called an involuntary exit. I softened the blow just a little bit, right? Rather than going out of business, bankruptcy, all of those harsh words that really hurt us and hurt our feelings. We call it an involuntary exit. We want to avoid that. You avoid that by, at the baseline, knowing and understanding that you can build an asset called a business, right? That is run properly. There's really no secrets in the universe anymore. There is a way to build a business at the base level so that you can start to stack on top of it, to build that foundation very, very strong, and then start hyper-focusing on what it is that you do, your environment, where you live, what product or service you have, the age, the outcome, all of those other components. But the base level of that is that you have to have your built to exit system, your built to exit foundation built very strong so that you can then go on to build your company to exit. So that involuntary exit. Second one is a dictated exit, which is where you might build something of value, be forced by time or events or whatever to get out of that asset called your business. And you go to sell your business and you run into a world of people who know what they're doing. I did that along the way as well. And my experience was that someone else controlled the amount of money that I was going to make on the sale of my business, and they controlled the time. two of the variables that when you get involved with the built to exit system that you control. You want to control time, and you want to control the amount of money that you are selling for. And that is where you elevate to the third level of exit, which is a custom tailored exit. It just goes the way you start today, no matter where you are. You could have a 10-year-old business. You could be third generation business. You could be a month into your business. You could be thinking about a business. But ultimately, if you set that foundation properly on the B2X system, you can launch off of that and build yourself to an exit. Now, when we talk about that custom tailored exit, we generally speak about driving your EBITDA to about a $5 million point. That gives you a 3 to 5 times valuation. You can sell your company from 15 million to 30 million. That's our sweet spot. We help people sell companies for less. We help them sell for more. But there's a real nice sweet spot that if you have the originating thought process that I need to build my company to exit, which means I need to have the foundation dialed, okay? And the secondary thought, which is what it is you're looking to get out of it at the end, your end game. If you have those two components in place, it's like dominoes. It wipes a whole lot of other things off the plate that you don't have to think about, because you are building, saying, here's where I'm at, $250,000 EBITDA, $500,000, wherever it is, and my target is 5 million. Right? You can sell along the way. You can get to 5 million and say, I love this because I don't have to spend any time in there. Or you can exit, go on to what's next. Really, that's the idea. I don't think we as business owners, we do not really ever see ourselves not doing something and adding value to the world. We don't. That's just one of the common things again about this B2X family is like, yes, we make money. Yes, we're going to make money. Yes, we will get to a freedom point. But what do I do next? And so really it's built to exit is knowing everybody exits, how matters, and then you exit to what's next. It's not you're exiting and then you're done forever. Joy, satisfaction, value add, purpose, all of those things are in adding value at some level. And so whatever that is for you. Again, for me, it was rescues. It was domestic violence. It still is. I realized I love business. So my wife and I still own, start, buy, sell businesses. And we have our major passion here, which is built to exit. And that's to help other business owners to be able to construct their business in such a way that sets them free so that they can exit to what's next for them. So that's a long-winded introduction for you to be able to come here. And for this episode, it's called When Fools Rush In. It's called When Fools Rush In. There's a lot of talk out there right now about AI. And I wanted to start, as I've been going through and studying AI and thinking about it and, taking my thinking time and talking to people at the top of the game of AI, of what's coming and so on and so forth, it dawned on me a couple of things that we have had major, and I'm going to go through some of them, we have had major technological advances throughout the history, all the way back to the wheel. And I'm going to go back through that and break some of that down for us. But ultimately, I want to start with this component, with giving you a tool, a way to think about this. And I'm going to shoot a video, and those of you that are dialed in and are on the newsletter, I'll put this out in a video or whatnot, or I'll announce it on the next deal. But I'll do a video on exactly how to do this with visuals and graphics and all this other kind of stuff. But the concept from the wheel to where we are right now is knowing the end game, right? It's knowing what is the purpose. And then there's ancillary things that happen. We go, oh, I didn't know the wheel could be used for that. I didn't know the wheel could be used for that. I didn't know I could use the wheel as a tool to be able to help advance my business. So I want to give you a tool that I have used for decades and a way of thinking. I want to start this off by giving you a tool that you can implement into your life that will help inform your journey through AI. AI is going to impact, it's going to affect, it's going to be impactful. There's just like every technological advancement out there, there's doomsday thought processes. It's going to take over the world. It's going to, and one of these days, those doomsday things may come true, and there's not going to be a damn thing you and I can do about it. So, so let's figure that this is going to be another technological advancement that those who are intelligent, right, emotions low, intellect high, right? If emotions are high, intellect is low. So let's take our emotions way down and start to think about this intellectually. What's the framework of AI? It's basically what I've been talking about, teaching and implementing in my own businesses is a flow chart, right? And that flow chart, this is the tool. Where you start, if you can imagine right now, wherever you are, if you've got a notepad, I know a lot of the people that are on live have a notepad or something that they're taking notes with. Down in the far right corner, you start with a box that says outcome. And I'll use the example of what we use as a customer journey whenever we take over a new business, whenever we acquire one, wherever we start one, is the customer journey. And that last box is the outcome. Right? That last box to the bottom right is the outcome. And for instance, our customer journey, we always want to end with a raving fan customer. What does that mean? We met all of their expectations, right? We met all of their expectations. They're so happy. Every promise that we made in marketing, they experienced it. And they want to do it again. They want to buy it again. They want to buy more from us, or they want to refer us. Okay. So super happy, raving fan customer, number one. Number two, they want to buy more from us. They want to continue to buy that product over again. And number four, that they cannot wait to refer you. Okay. So that's your outcome box in the far right-hand corner. Now what you do is you reverse engineer all the way up to the front. To the top, the very first box should be, who is my target audience and where are they going to come from? Now you work your way back down through those boxes and it ends up being a system of creating a raving fan customer that's going to give you referrals. And there's steps along the way, right? It becomes a flow chart that goes, okay, the lead comes in. Here's how we talk to them. Here's how we filter them. Here's how we give them a proposal. When they accept the proposal, here's how it goes. When they accept that proposal, what's the first experience that they have with my company? What do we need from them? What do they need from us? Then you deliver the product. It goes into operations. It goes through operations and you get to the end of it, you get the follow-up. It goes into finance. They get the money, right? It goes through customer service to make sure that they got everything, et cetera, all the way through in a flow chart. And you can Google flow charts. You can watch videos on flow charts. I'll put out a video on how we've built flow charts for 20 years now. But when you start thinking about AI, that's all it is, right? It is another tool that if you do the thinking for your business, you can start at the end with what the outcome is. Now you break those down. I'm just giving you the big picture. The customer journey one is the first one that you should have as a flow chart in your business, right? If those of you that are graduates of the Built to Exit system, you watched how I broke that down. I went in, bought a company, and the very first thing that we did, it was one flow chart. And then when we sold it, right, it was worth negative $2 million at the time. And when we sold it, the valuation was $19 million. Okay. And the expansion was from flowcharts. It was that first flowchart, and then we started to fill in the gaps. We started to build a flowchart for every touch point, every system, everything that we did more than one time in that company ended up having a flowchart. And then those flowcharts interconnected with each other in divisions, in buildings, in teams, and it expanded out. And you can see the very first one in the Built to Exit system. You see the very first one on one side, and on the other side, you see 4 or 5 books full of flowcharts, so that anybody that was in that company knew exactly where they were stepping in, knew exactly what the outcome of their position was, knew exactly what the outcome was of each and every activity that was in the business. Okay? That takes work, it takes dedication, it takes time. But at the end of the day, this is where, when we step back into the conversation of AI, it is going to reward those activities, right? It is building autonomous, repetitive behaviors, but it's only going to behave as well as it's programmed. Okay? And so this is step number one. Whatever it is in your business, commit to the next 5-6 months of literally flowcharting every behavior, every activity to the desired outcome in your business. That's the tool. I'll do a video on it. I'll do some graphics and all that kind of stuff to give you better. But it's easy for everybody watching me to get that concept. To say, all right, I'm going to start with my customer journey, the end game, and then where do they first hear about me? What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? And that is an incredibly valuable tool for you to implement in whatever it is that you're doing. I don't care if you're trying to lose 10 pounds. It's the same thing. Trying to lose 10 pounds. Put your why in there. I want to look sexy in a swimsuit. Blah, blah, blah. Right? We'll reverse engineer to what you put in your mouth every day, how much you sleep, etc., etc. Hi, my name is Jason Sisneros, founder and chairman of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has helped hundreds of clients and thousands of growth course students fix, scale, and successfully master their businesses. To put it simply, my team and I help people turn their businesses into machines that create cash. To better support startups and other mid-sized companies, my team and I developed a phenomenal and comprehensive digital growth course where I poured decades of business ownership and know-how into 20 hours of content. This course is not easy. It's not an easy pill, but demands real work from you to implement the blueprints that I've developed. We know that reaching financial freedom is never easy, but totally worth it. Go to growthcourse.com right now to learn more about the course and get started on your business journey today. So the idea is that is the main tool. And from the wheel to AI, that is one of the greatest tools that you can have, is to figure out what are the steps for any system to be able to spit out at the end the result that you are looking for. And so many people, we don't do that. We just get in and we start doing things. We're like, oh, I made a sale, blah, blah. And then we get up in the repetitive hamster wheel of just doing things that are not documented. Now, the whole concept behind Built to Exit is, if anybody is ever going to be able to take over your company, acquire it, merge, utilize it as a platform, whatever it is, it has to be systemized. It has to be predictable in nature, because when somebody buys your company, they are buying the future. Write this down. Whenever somebody is going to buy your company, they are buying the future. You are selling the past, right? So they're going to buy the future, which means that there needs to be 4 areas that are extraordinarily detailed, extraordinarily linked together, extraordinarily flowcharted out to be predictable. One is your relationship to your customer. The more repetitive sales that you have, the more predictable that revenue is. Having one customer that all of your revenue is coming from is not a great selling point for people when they're buying your business. So the more sales that you can have, the more repetitive, the more systems you have in place to make sure that that relationship to the customer is predictable. Write that word down. Your business is only as valuable to someone else as it is predictable to you currently, right? So your relationship to your customer, that's number 1. Number 2 is a management team. You should not be needed in the equation. The value of your business goes up. The ability for someone else to take it over, to hand it over to your children, to give it to your employees, whatever the exit is. If it's just you keeping that stream of income and wanting more free time and not have to work in the business day to day, your systems and your processes have to include a management team that does not need you. That's number 2. Number 3, your financials need to be booked out in a clear, concise way. Call it your data room. Write that down, because ultimately when somebody does buy your business, they are going to require you to fill in something called a data room. And all that data room is going to have your business speaks the language of finance. And so that data room inside of it is going to have all the components of your finances, because that's where the truth happens. And it has to tie all the way through. You can't make up numbers. Or you can't make up numbers. So your finances. The third one is your exit plan. An extremely detailed exit plan, which means that you have thought past today. You have thought past the fact that you have to make sales tomorrow. You have thought past that, and you have an exit plan that shows whether somebody buys your company or not. This plan has this company, this asset that you own called a business, has a continuity plan beyond today into next year, year two. It has contingency plans in case we have a COVID or we have a 9/11 attack or we have an up in the economy, a down in the economy. It has acquisition strategies involved in it. Those four components are what's going to put you in the driver's seat of being able to dictate the time and the value, the time and the amount of money that you sell your company for. Okay? So those are the components, and it starts with this super simple concept of flowcharting the outcome. All of that is just a bunch of flowcharts that you have thought through and put into a system. And then, obviously, if you're a graduate of the B2X system, at the end of it, how all of this ties together and continues is something we call MEOs, massively important outcomes, and how they tie together is communication and measurement. It sounds complex, but once you stop doing all of the nonsense and you start focusing in on flowcharts and communication and measurement, those things, your business starts to grow, okay? I say all of that to come back to this point. None of that can happen if you are caught up in radical emotional masturbation. And that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about this. That's the physical. You can do that starting tomorrow. We're going to go more into it. We teach on it. We talk on it. I'll do a video on how to do flowcharts and whatnot. But ultimately, when you talk about any technological advancement, it is simply making things more efficient, more effective, and at the end of the day, producing a better result for anybody that would buy from you and that is buying from you and that trusts you with their wallet. It is to create that outcome. It's not to sell more. It's not to have better marketing. It's not to have all that other kind of stuff. That is short-term thinking. That is the thinking that the reason why 90+% of companies fail over a period of time is because they're doing short-term thinking. They are not doing systematic thinking. They're not doing the intellectual exercise. They're not playing the intellectual sport that is called business. Right? They're doing whatever's necessary. They're playing, I hope it works. I hope. Hope is not ever an effective strategy for you and your business. So when we break this back down, when fools rush in, why did I call it that? Because there's an emotional component to any technological advance. We're seeing it all over the place with AI. It's true for every and any transformational era. And for any business trying to grow at a breakneck speed without systems, people, and strategy to support it, you have failure in your future. The numbers are crazy. You see a lot of companies that are out there that are successful because they're the fastest growing. 70% of those companies are not going to make the fastest growing companies on the planet. 70% of those are not going to be here next year. So is speed an accurate measurement of success? Absolutely not. Now, can it be a component of success? Yes, it can be. But in fighting, speed and accuracy, it's accuracy. Now, why did I just spend all of that time talking about flowcharts? Because the flowcharts are your accuracy, which allow you to add the component of speed. If you're just wildly doing activity and you're like, oh my gosh, I made a bunch of sales, but I didn't put my operations in place. I didn't get my finances to tell me how to do more of that. I didn't systemize any of this. Then that is what kills companies over time. And so when we're sitting in this time frame right now where everything's fast. You watch anything on AI, it's like, oh, that thing that was really cool yesterday, guess what? Blah blah blah. Oh, Google's losing today because OpenAI is kicking their ass. And then you go, oh, Google was sitting back and doing some stuff, and now they're kicking ChatGPT's ass, and blah blah blah. Like, speed is ruining people's futures when all that's happening is another technological shift. That's what's happening. Now, again, I don't know the end game. I don't know the outcome of where this is going. It's called unintended consequences. Nobody can tell you what the unintended consequences of a new technological advancement is going to be. And anybody that is trying to tell you, most of the time they're full of shit and trying to sell you something. So take what you know, lower the temperature, increase the intellect, and start thinking of this as, oh, this is a better, more efficient way for me to put systems and processes in place for the thing that I do, that I've fallen in love with, solving the problem for somebody else. It's just a better tool. Right? You're going from spreadsheets to AI. And is that the full impact? No. I don't know the unintended, I'm going to repeat it again. I don't know the unintended consequences of what AI is going to provide. But I do know right now, based on the research that I've done, digging in, using common sense, and my radically powerful knowledge of how business works, is that it is a fantastic tool that is developing for your benefit. Your benefit as a business owner, job number one is to fall in love with the outcome of somebody else and to deliver that outcome better than anybody else. And so you're thinking about it, you're obsessing about it, just like you would for somebody that you love. How can I make them happy? Right? How can I do this with my wife? I obsess over how to make my wife happy, to make her smile, to make her giggle. It's the same thing with my customers. I do this for you and when we're doing these shows. What I want is for you to go away and go, holy shit, I just got that. That was like $10,000 worth of information I just got for Jason for free for showing up on a Saturday. My job is to delight you, to empower you, to get you tools and things that help you. For business owners and for consultants that are out there doing the work to help people achieve their dreams and create their own freedom. So here's the question. Are you scaling because you're ready or because the frenzy has convinced you that you have to? Intellect. Intelligence. Are you running around? What is it? Just for a second, stop and think about what your attitude is towards AI. You see ads everywhere. It's like I watch Bitcoin, right? Everybody's a Bitcoin genius when it's going up, right? And then everybody goes dead silence when it's going down. It's the same thing with AI. You have a whole bunch of people out there, they're advertising. I know this, I know that, but they're doing seminars for people that used to be 10 days ago, they were marketing specialists. Now they're AI specialists selling their same $3,000, $5,000 seminar to teach you about something that will be obsolete. In my opinion, what I'm watching, it will be obsolete the day after you go to the seminar. The core understanding, the core thing that I have figured out after studying this and watching it, talking to people, is that it is a great way for you to build a better flow chart. For those flow charts to interact with each other at a higher level for business owners. I don't know how. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a health expert. I'm not any of those experts. I'm a business expert. And so when I see a tool out there for all of us to be able to use called AI, I dig. Where's the foundational understanding? Where's the foundational truth that we can all apply for the purpose of building our machine in a better way? And our machine is called a business. It's not your therapy room. It's not to get place to solve your mommy and daddy issues. It's a place for you to build a machine that will then create value for someone else. And that value comes back to you as profit so that you can then achieve the things that you want to in your life. It is a service crazy eight, right? It's a service crazy eight. I fall in love with your outcome. I deliver it. I get what I need. Right? So let me talk about when you get caught up in the psychological masturbation exercise that is scaling too fast, that is getting frenzied because of too much information. There's 10 downsides to scaling too fast. Number one, your cash flow collapses because you forget that the lifeblood of your business is cash flow. Factories during the Industrial Revolution overly expanded. It drained resources faster than they could replenish, and it left businesses gasping for air. I love that sentence because that's what your business breathes. It breathes cash flow. Okay, operational overload. Systems designed for yesterday's pace crack under today's demand. This is the perfect, when I say many times on many different episodes on everybody past, this comes up in every opportunity that I'm speaking to business owners, whether that's on my podcast, other people's podcast stages, wherever it is. It's that most businesses die of indigestion, not starvation. In other words, their marketing or their sales or their reputation or whatever kicks off and everybody goes, oh, I want some of that, right? I want some of that. And so that now you're busy trying to fulfill that. Your sales go down. You're not delivering. You didn't put enough thought and process into the deliveries process of what you do. You really didn't get into the idea of falling in love with somebody else's outcome to the point of obsessing over it so that there was systems and processes to be able to support it. And remember, this is a lengthy process. Now it's getting shorter because of the tools, but in order for you to take where you are to being able to have an organization that is ready to be acquired by somebody else, it's about 18 months to 36 months. It used to be 5 years. I got it down to 18 months for me and my processes because that's what I hyper focus on. The talent trap. When you think of the dot-com era, hiring in mass led to bloated teams without the expertise to execute. It's very similar in AI right now. People are like, I'm building agents, I'm doing this, I'm doing all this other kind of stuff. I'm freaking out because I don't know what to do. Customer exodus. Scaling too fast often sacrifices customer experience. Turning early adopters into loud critics. This is the key component that you want to avoid. Leadership breakdown. The founder becomes a firefighter, not a strategist, as problems outpace solutions. Culture collapse. Rapid growth dilutes company culture, leaving a patchwork of misaligned teams. One of the very first things that we teach in the B2X system is culture building. 3 premises that you build, and that is one of the foundational pieces that has to be in place. You decide early how you're going to treat your people, how your people are going to treat you, how you're going to treat your customers. You decide that. We have a structural way to do that. It's called the 3 premises. Financial overreach. Over-leveraging debt or reinvesting everything without a fallback plan creates a ticking time bomb. You've heard me say, take money off the table. Take money off the table. Make sure that you're looking at your business like if you give it money, that you're giving money to a complete stranger and you have some expectations, you have some systems, you have some processes by which that stranger is going to pay you back. Market overextension, expansion into untested markets wastes resources and exposes the company to unnecessary risk. The compliance risk, growth often outruns legal. One of the first things that we tell you is that you should be putting yourself into irrevocable trust, that you should have an operating business, you should have all of that structure in place, no matter where you are. You could be in 30 years. I've walked into 3rd generation businesses that are completely exposed legally. The KPI blackout. In the frenzy to grow, key metrics are ignored, leaving the company blind to its real performance. I know that if you're a founder of a business that you have some pretty cool traits. You have some traits that inspire confidence in people. You have some traits that make you attractive as somebody that people want to be around. You have some traits that make people trust you. You have some traits as in You deliver on what you say. You have some traits as in you actually do the work that you can be counted on. You have these traits. And when you outrun those traits or you lean too heavily upon them, they become a weakness. Let's talk about the failure rate statistics in a frenzy, because that's what AI is right now. It's a frenzy of a new technology. And the fear of missing out is causing people to make ridiculous and stupid decisions. Forgetting that Business 101 is always going to be principle-based. For those of us that are not the Amazons, for those of us that are not the major corporations that have all of the tools and the access to corrupt politicians, for the rest of us, we got to take a deep breath, come back to fundamentals, and realize there will always be a place for you if you know that your job is to fall in love with the outcome of somebody else, to ease their suffering, to make them money, to save them money, or to radically and measurably change the quality of their life. There's always going to be a job for you. There's always going to be a business to build around doing that, not just for one person, but multiplying that to multiple people. So the Industrial Revolution, let's go back there, because there's there's 10 or so, and I've got some other things. If I've got time here, I'm going to go through some of them. But the three major ones, the Industrial Revolution, many of the early manufacturers failed to sustain their growth due to overexpansion and operational efficiencies. Okay? Dot-com bubble, nearly 50% of internet startups in the 1990s scaled too fast and imploded by 2001. The AI frenzy today, according to Forbes, 70% of companies adopting AI at scale are underperforming due to poorly integrated systems and rushed decision making. I'm going to read that again. The AI frenzy today, according to Forbes, 70% of companies adopting AI at scale are underperforming due to poorly integrated systems and rushed decision making. You should be putting as much thought into your AI as you are into your next employee. You need both. You need both. This is just it's a tool that's developing on the fly. It's like it's happening. You can watch. You don't have to listen to me. I'm not an AI expert, but what I can tell you is that when I get when I see and I follow and I speak to the top AI people, that whatever they developed yesterday is now obsolete because it did this. It's a great place to take a deep breath and just be building systems. Do the things that you have the capacity to do. And you always have the capacity to take an hour or 2 hours out of the day and build a new flowchart. Review the flowcharts of where everything connects in your business. To be that calm, intellectual thinker, all of that, the more things you connect, the better your framework is, the better your flowcharts are, the better that they connect together, the better outcomes you're getting for people. It's just going to be enhanced by AI. But AI is also going to expose poorly thought out systems. You just saw it, 70%. And there's some big companies throwing a shitload of money at AI right now, and it is doing damage. Because they've forgotten the fundamental, the foundational piece that you are solving problems for somebody else. You're not just looking to maximize the money that's going into your pocket. That is an after effect of solving the problem. That is an after effect. Profit, free cash flow, operational cash flow is an after effect for solving a problem in an intellectual way. Are you a business owner that's looking to build your company into a machine that creates cash? I'm Jason Sisneros, chairman and founder of Anton J Global, a world-class business consulting company that has turned around, merged, or prepped for sale hundreds of companies just like yours. I'm best known as the architect when it comes to fixing and building companies across the globe. My experience comes from owning and exiting over 20 of my own companies successfully. It's that real-world experience that I've converted into the ultimate blueprint that has saved and grown my clients' businesses. If you're tired of getting bad advice, have bought all the books, all the coaching programs, and still aren't seeing the success that you were promised? It might be time to work with a team that has actual experience and a track record of success. Please scan the QR code or visit antonj.com to schedule your free 15-minute consultation to see if we can help you reach your outcomes. That's antonj.com, ANTONJAE.com. Growth during times of change is not about speed. Write that down. Growth during times of change, and we are in a time of change. Guess what? We've been in a time of change since the first breath out of your mother's womb. You've been in a place of change. And growth during times of change is not about speed, it's about sustainability. Success comes to those who build systems and resilience. Systems and resilience is what's built as a framework inside of every successful business. Resilience is something that everybody that's here live, I could tell you this without a doubt, without even having to scan the people that are in the room with me right now live on Twitter, is that one of their core DNA makeups is resilience. And embedded in resilience is I'm never going to quit. I'm never going to stop. You cannot beat me. I will not quit. You can throw everything that you have at me. And until my last dying breath, I will be here facing down the challenges that I have put in front of me. And that is the B2X family in a bumper sticker. If you're here and you're watching this first time, if you don't have resilience, if you don't have that stick-to-itiveness, if you don't have that, I'm going to do whatever it takes to be able to get through this stuff, then this isn't going to be the family for you. If it is you have found your home, and welcome. We need lots of us to be able to face down, to be able to support each other, to be able to keep business decentralized enough for us to be able to succeed and for us to pass on the financial ability, the financial opportunity to remain and breathe free air. We need each other. The biggest opportunities often come to those who wait for the frenzy to settle. The biggest opportunities often come to those who wait for the frenzy to settle and strike with precision. I'm going to say that again. The biggest opportunities often come to those who wait for the frenzy to settle and strike with precision. It's not speed. It's speed and accuracy. And the more that you think ahead, right? Again, I box almost every single day of my life. I'm at the gym, at the boxing gym. And I'm constantly connecting. Okay, if I jab, what I'm going to get from that jab is the person's either going to show me that they don't know how to fight, they do know how to fight, they move their head to the left, they move their head to the right, right? They take it right in the face. Both of their hands come up, both of their hands drop. I throw a jab to the gut, right? They drop their hands. I know they're inexperienced. That leaves their jaw exposed. Like, it's the same thing as business. Every action that you take will have a reaction. And if you know what that reaction is going to be, reasonably, you have a wildly higher percentage opportunity to succeed than those that are just throwing shit at the wall constantly. This week is an opportunity for you to take. I gave you the tool at the beginning, and it's just a bunch of boxes and a notepad. It is not technologically advanced. I do this. I have a whiteboard. I have my notepad that I use. I do this all the time. I don't need AI. I don't need a guru. I don't need anybody to tell me, like, just put a box in the bottom right and say, this is what this outcome of this system is going to be. And then I go back up to the top. Where does it start? And then what are all the boxes that connect it in the middle? Then I go back through the boxes and I say, what if I took that out? Get the result. What if I took that out? What if I added this? It's systematic thinking. You are your own architect in your business, and you can take any business, any system, any charity, anything that you're building, and you can put it into this framework and you can be wildly successful. You can be part of the 5% that succeeds. And I'm telling you right now, our goal at Built to Exit is to help 600 businesses in the next 5 years sell for between 15 and 30 million. You want to be part of that? Join us. If you don't want to be part of it and you just want to be here, part of our family, and you do it on your own, you take these things and you link it together for your own exit, great. That is our outcome. I have fallen in love with the idea that a family, because that's what it always is a business owner being able to exit their business for $15 to $30 million changes their lives. And who they have to become to be able to sell for $15 to $30 million means that we are going to have service-oriented. I'm going to have 600 families, 600 people that we helped exit at $15 to $30 million that are focused around ethical capitalism, integrity-based, charity, all of the things that it takes to be an ethical business owner. That's the group that we're putting together. I want 600 of us to be able to experience breathing free air. Are you one of them? I hope so. So let me see. I'm going to pull up something. I'm going to wrap this up here in the next 5 minutes. But I went down a rabbit hole on some of these businesses, and I just went back. Let's go. Let me see if I can find it really quick. I'm just going to quickly go through. Sorry, I'm scrolling because I did this. I just put this. This was something very interesting to me, and I wanted to, if I had time, come back to it, and I do. So I'm going to go back through 10 transformative technological efficiency advances, starting with the wheel and culminating in where we are in AI, and then I'm going to wrap up the show. Okay, the wheel. 3,500 BC. Okay. Before the wheel, humans relied on sheer manpower or animal labor to transport goods and people. Societies were limited by terrain and physical endurance. While the wheel was being introduced, the wheel revolutionized mobility, logistics, allowing for the creation of carts and facilitating trade, agriculture, and construction. After, right, the things that we don't know that's going to happen after, societies expanded rapidly because of the wheel. We didn't know that at the time. Somebody's like, I wonder if we make this thing round. Right? Societies expanded rapidly, and the wheel became central to virtually all forms of transport and engineering. It was a catalyst for urbanization and the creation of infrastructure. The unintended consequences. We didn't know that when the wheel was created, but it added to society. The printing press. Knowledge dissemination was slow and restricted and controlled to handwritten manuscripts, creating a barrier to widespread education and innovation. When that started to happen, it started to proliferate. The printing press democratized knowledge, enabling mass production of books and fueling the Renaissance, Reformation, and scientific revolution. Afterwards, unintended consequences, humans became more informed. Literacy rates skyrocketed, leading to societal shifts towards enlightenment and questioning of traditional authorities. Thank God. Thank God we have Twitter right now. Think about that. If we could not question traditional authorities, where would we be? We would still be under the thumb. There would still be 1% controlling all the 99% of us. We would not have this miracle called business for us to be able to express ourselves, to be able to free ourselves financially. The steam engine. Before, work was dependent on human and animal labor, and the wheel, right? We're still dependent on the wheel. And to some extent, wind and water mills. Industrial progress was slow. Steam engine powered factories, ships, trains, marking the start of the Industrial Revolution. Humans grappled with displacement as machines began to replace manual labor. After the unintended consequences, entire industries flourished. So did societal unrest. Luddites destroyed machines. Over time, societies adapted, leading to urbanization and industrialized economies. The telegraph, communication slow, relying on messengers, letters, and smoke signals. Think about this for just a second. I think 5-10 years from now, we're going to be looking back at the way we do business right now going, that was the equivalent of sending smoke signals, right? I want to talk to Tony up in New Jersey, and I'm here in Charleston, and I got to send a smoke signal. Nope. The internal combustion engine. Transportation revolved around steam power. Remember, steam power became the outdated. And animal-driven carts. Mobility was still limited. The internal combustion engine revolutionized automobiles. Airplanes created unprecedented speed and efficiency. Humans experience excitement, but also anxiety over accidents and pollution. After the unintended consequences, the advancement led to modern transportation systems, urban sprawl, globalized trade, and it also contributed to environmental concerns. Electricity and the light bulb, 1879. This wasn't that long ago. So we didn't even have light bulbs. So societies were dependent on daylight, inefficient resources like candles, oil lamps. Remember back, I watched the Heart of the Sea movie, and it was literally whale oil that people were utilizing. Electricity, after it, became the backbone of modern life, powering everything from homes to factories, enabling future technological advancements, and the computer that you're watching me on, the phone that you're listening to me on. The assembly line, we've talked about that in multiple shows. The computer in the 1940s, calculations manual performed by rudimentary mechanical devices. Computers became indispensable for every industry. What you're listening to me on is a computer. What I'm shooting this video on is a computer. People around the world will hear my message. They'll hear your message. Now, artificial intelligence. Automation was limited. Now think about just the word. Automation was limited to specific program tasks, and the idea of intelligent machines was mostly science fiction. During, which is what we're in right now, AI began automating complex cognitive tasks, transforming industries like healthcare, finance, logistics. Humans experience wonder, skepticism, and fear of job displacement. We don't know what's going to be after. We don't know the unintended outcomes of all of that. The point being is that we live in change. You live in change. I live in change. The world is constantly changing around us. The more intellectual that we can be. In our business, it is an intellectual sport. It is not a sport of speed. Any business owner who's been in business for more than 10 days knows that most of the bullshit that people are out there, all the gurus that are spreading shit about business, oh, you can buy one, you can flip businesses, you got most of us that own a business go, that is total and complete bullshit. The only people buying that nonsense are people who have never owned a business before, who have worked at a business and have no idea the complexity, no idea the mental strain that it takes, no idea the emotional control that you have to have. They have no idea how you have to be able to run from failure to failure with enthusiasm. They have no idea. You do. You own a business. You are a business owner. And so as we look at this, calm down. Allow the frenzy to go on around you. Settle into the idea that AI is a great way for your systems and processes to add value to your customer and for you to be more efficient with your business so that you can solve and ease suffering for more people. Your business has to do one of three things: make people money, save people money, or measurably improve the quality of their life. Your systems, now is the time for you to take the exercise that I gave you at the beginning of this episode and follow that out. Just a simple box process, simple flow chart, and flow chart out everything that you're doing and start to see how that interconnects and start to see that as an AI system, because you will be able to utilize those tools. You'll be able to utilize human resources at a higher level. You'll be able to think better. You'll be able to exit your business faster and for more money than you ever thought was possible. So that's it. Don't be a fool that rushes in. Be an intellectual giant that I know you are. And look to reap the rewards of all the pounding I know you take. It's one thing I know. When I'm talking to a business owner, I know the shit you've been through. I know the beatings you take. I know the uncertainty that you face. I know that right now fear is at a super high level because nobody knows what's going to happen with AI. Settle in. Settle down. Calm the frenzy. Be the calm in the storm. And think. It's your greatest weapon besides your heart. I love you all very much. Now I'm going to go back to the live audience. I hope you join us there. I hope you're there with us, ready to have a conversation about all of this stuff. But thank you for those of you that have been with us. Thank you to those of you that are brand new. Make sure that you share this out if you find the material helpful. And, pay attention to our website, builttoexit.biz or jasonsisneros.com to find out where I'm going to be live. I'm going to be all over the world this year on stages. I love giving people hugs and high fives in real life. So thank you very much. Make your week magical. Settle down, settle in, think, and do great things. I love you all very much. We'll see you next Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. every single Saturday on X at the J Sisneros. Peace.